Right guys, welcome to part 2. We are going to port match the, see up there, the inlet side of the head to the inlet manifold. So as you saw in the previous video, I marked up with like a white pen the stuff. So I'm just going to quickly take out the injectors and the fuel ram and stuff like that, and then get to work on that. So alright guys, so because I broke the vise as you saw in the last video, which is here, look at it, it's shattered. You know, I've got nothing to hold this down, so I've got a big ghetto, 2 blocks of wood and an open diff just to hold it down. Does the job. I just tested, but these are like carbide bits. You want to go, so where this white line is, you want to go at sort of a 45-degree angle just to cut the lip out, and then afterwards you're going to use like other bits to then like make a smooth transition. So yeah, I mean, you can mess up, you can go too big, but you probably won't. So we need to do it quite quick. So as you can see, so like all the white's now coming away. So go until all the white's gone, and then you're gonna change bits and go through. So there might be better videos on this as well. Right guys, so I've got the next carbide attachment on, so it's a little bit different to this one. And now you're just gonna like transition each into it all the way around. So you're gonna take out like the big lip. There you can see it. Right guys, so we've done like most of it. Obviously this is sort of like the look we want. Obviously still got a little bit more to go, but we need like a slightly longer bit. So we're gonna use like a Dremel or something like that. But you're gonna do this on both sides to get all the way through. So it should, as you can see, there's only like a little bit left in there. We're gonna finish off this, add that clip in, and now we're gonna start on the head. So the exhaust side, because I think the inlet side is fine. So yeah, so let me set up the camera. It's pretty much the same process. We'll just show you how to mark it up again and then go from there. So yeah, let me just quickly set it all up and get it ready for you. Right guys, so as you saw before, all we did is put a new exhaust gasket on, white paint marker go around. We've got our drill bit again. This one is a little bit more triangular, so it might be a little bit smoother. I'm just going to prop this up with a bit of wood so I can see better. It's sturdy. And then you're just going to repeat pretty much the same process as we did with the inlet manifold. So go at sort of like a 45-degree angle inwards, and then change a bit, and then you go pretty much all the way through. And then obviously only going to like the white line, the outer white line. That's probably the maximum you go to really. Well, that's the maximum that I'm going to anyway. So I probably won't be talking, so I'll probably just time stamp or skip little bits here and there and just add the information in that you need. But yeah, like I said, there's probably better videos on this, but this is a budget. This is a budget build. Right guys, so as you can see, we're making progress on this. You see, but obviously once you've done this side, you want to then do this side of the valve. So turn it over. So we already started on this one, as you can see. But you do pretty much the same thing with this. The only thing is, you can't really see because it's quite grubby, but see these very shiny bits? you do not want to touch those. So you just want to leave those shiny. So start your drill bit when you get in, about there, and then obviously work your way through there. You do not want to be touching the shiny bits on any of these. Okay, so I'll set up the camera and quickly give you a demonstration, but it's not too hard. Just keep the roughest part of this as far away as possible, and then sort of come, I mean, if you can, start the closest to this, then work your way in, and then you don't have to go back and touch this again, so you're less likely to mess up. Right guys, so as you can see, I cleaned up a little bit just so you can see, but the ring goes down a little bit further than what you can sort of see. So I don't really know, like maybe like half or quarter of a centimetre, a couple of millimetres, it goes down a bit. So you can sort of feel it with your nail, as you can see. So you want to start, like I said before, down here. That's where you're going to start from. Like I said, don't mess up the actual shiny bit, because then your head is pretty much fucked. And you're best off just going, what do I do? Big valve head or whatever, you can probably do that if it's messed up, but you know, try not to. So guys, as you can sort of see, if I can get the camera to focus, so you can see the difference in the like the colours where the shiny bit is to where the parts that I've took off. So one second. So you can see like it's a little bit darker here. I haven't took off this part yet, and then obviously that's the part where I've pretty much grinded away. And you just want to do that all the way down, so as you can see in there. And you want to do that for all of them. And same on this side. So you're just going to do that on all of them. So I'll times up a little bit of it, but I'm probably going to skip a lot of this because it's not the same process we did on this to this. Like, it's going to be the same thing pretty much the whole way through, and then we'll show you obviously how to polish if we get onto that step, and then we're going to go with the next part of the video, which is like the valve clearances and replacing all the valves and putting those in and so on, and lapping valves and cams and whatnot. So I'll try and keep this port and polishing part short and snappy. So yeah. Right guys, so it's pretty much done. This has been cleaned a little bit, and obviously I got the head skimmed, so it's all fresh. It's pretty much all ported now and everything like that. It just needs a really big clean, which we're going to do after we've done the lapping of the valves. So probably take you on to that next part now. And I got a fresh trim because barbers are open now, so no more hair in the face. But we're going to lap the valves now, and then we go clean it, and then we got our cams and everything from 𝗦𝗍 Motorsport. So I might show this in this video or wait until we do the block in the next video. So let me set up the camera and start lapping the valves. Right, boys and girls, so we're back. So as you saw in the previous clip, we had the head ported and polished and whatnot. Now we are lapping the valves, so I'm going to show you the difference between a lapped valve and a non-lapped valve. If you can see, so this one is lapped. As you can see, it's got sort of like a matte satin finish to it, and this one is not lapped, and it's still, you know, pretty dirty and so on. So I'm going to take you through that. I'll show you as well what it looks like on the actual head. So this one is lapped. See, again, it's got a nice like sort of satin finish, and this one is not lapped, and it's, you know, still a bit shiny, a bit grubby. So what you need to do, so lapped, non-lapped. This one, make sure you color code them. We've labeled them obviously in the first part you saw, and we've now labeled each one of these. So we've done inlet 1 all the way down to inlet 10. So I should show you here. So it says here, if you can see, it's very small, but it says I1. So inlet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then exhaust 1, 2, 3, blah, blah. Because when you flip it, it's going to get a bit confusing. So you take your valve. Obviously, you don't want to keep the masking tape on this, so take it all off. Give it a little clean up as well. You are going to need some of this grinding paste. It's called valve grinding paste, you know, not affiliated with them or anything like that. You're going to take your valve and sort of just get a little bit on the lip, and then any excess just rub off. Make sure you've got sort of full coverage. Doesn't matter too much, because obviously when you turn it, it's all going to come off. So somewhat like that. So all around. Gonna need one of these. It's like a baby plunger for a dollhouse toilet. And then you would obviously just straight on there. So obviously this is number 2. So put it into valve 2. I'll show you here. I don't know how good you'll be able to see, because I don't know how zoomed in it is, but. And then you would just suck that onto there, and then just give it and you'll hear like a change in the sound. As you can hear the sound difference now. So you see, once you clean this off, you'll be able to tell a bit better. As you can tell on here, that is done. So you just want to repeat that for all 10 inlet and all 10 exhaust. Again, clean out the valve in there as well. You should have the same sort of finish. Yeah, so it's the same finish. So you would just repeat that 19 more times. So pretty simple. I won't record too much of it. I might do a little times that for a couple of them, but you get the gist. I don't know where you can buy these. I mean, probably eBay, but maybe even a paint store. It's literally just a little bit of wood with a rubber plunger on the end. So who knows, if you're smart enough, you might be able to make it at home. But I should set the camera up and I shall record the rest of this. If you do need any of these tools, I shall leave like links in the description for this. That's pretty much it. You can all buy masking tape from that Tesco's or something like that. So yeah, so let's get the rest done as quick as possible. Right, boys, we're back. So we cleaned all this up. We're now just going to now we're going to start the process of like putting pretty much everything back together. So like reassembling it, checking the valve clearances and so on. We managed to get these out, by the way. We just used a very small screwdriver. So you want to plot all of these back in this way. You do not want them this way. Just back in this way. It's a little bit tricky, but you know, just use your fingers as best as you can. Try not to mess up on camera. As you can see there. Press them in, repeat that step for all of these, so I shall return once that's done. Right guys, so we got all of the spring seat things, whatever, retainers in. These are like the bottom ones to keep the spring from popping down or whatever. Now you're gonna put these little valve in, so you need replacement ones. Use your valve tool to grab it. I've already done one. Push it down. and make sure it's dead straight as well. As you can see there, I will let Cam hold the camera. So obviously you need to make this sit down a little bit further. So grab a 11mm multi-socket, put it on the end, make sure this is dead straight to the actual bore. When you tap it, you'll hear a change in the sound, so it sounds like you're smacking straight on metal. Once that starts happening, you're done. There you go, and that is on. As you can see in there. So, I should do the rest and then we'll go to the next step. Boys and girls, so next piece, bit mechanical minded this one. So I'm gonna get it to you. So, you want to clean up all your springs and that for each valve. You want to make sure you got 20 of these tiny little things or 10 pairs. These little seat retainers, a bit of engine lube. You want to lube up this bad boy. Shove it in here, but obviously from the back, and then we'll take you through the next step of this. So we're going to put all the valves through, and then we're going to go through with this. So catch you in 3, 2, 1. Right, boys and girls, back to our favourite part. You want your spring, big side, the bigger size in diameter, this one. So, you know, triangle up that way. Goes on this side, inside, and then you want this bucket in. That side down. Nice. You want to get your valve spring compressor tool again, this bad boy. Again, big side on top, small side on the bottom. Do the same thing as last time as when we got them off. Right, I don't know the best way to record this. I will record Sam doing it actually, because I'm a better recorder than Sam, as we all well know. You need a magnetised screwdriver first of all. If it's not magnetised, you know, just give it a couple of strokes on a magnet, like this, you know. But Sam, take it away. But it's the same as how we took it off last time, guys, so.
What we've done as well, before we put the valve in, we put some engine lube on there, which means the little keepers will then stick onto the valve. And looking at the valve, the actual keeper as well is sort of a wedge shape. Don't know if you can kind of see it. It gets thinner at this edge than it is on this one.
Yeah, so the one with the wider diameter goes at the top, and the smaller side goes down. Sort of like a Dorito.
Yep. Yes, there's one in.
So as you can see, guys, in there, GoPro's got very good lighting. Come a little bit over. As you see, guys, that side's on, and you'll sort of see Sam put the other side on. That's why you want the engine lube, because it sort of makes it stick. It is very tedious. And then, as you see now, Sam is slowly releasing the clip, and it should slot in inside that retainer, and it will not go anywhere. As you can see. Repeat that process for all the others, and that is how you would reassemble the valve. And then we go to the next step. I know it's very next step, but I don't want to record every single one because we're trying to fit this all into one video. Once you've seen it once, you don't see me do it again for a time lapse because I do too many time lapse. So yeah, so repeat this step for the next 19.
Right guys, so as you can see, they are all in lovely and lubed.
So all of the inlet, all of the exhaust. The next thing we need to do is put the bucket back in, put the cams in, use a cam locking tool and check the clearances. That will be the next part, but it's like 10 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna go home, sleep, and then come back and do the rest of this tomorrow. So yeah, so we shall catch you in tomorrow. Well, catch you in like 2 seconds doing the next part, so. Right, boys and girls, back again next day. So the next part, I think the last bit we showed off was us sticking all the valve springs and that in. You then want to lube up your little like buckets, your little valve caps, whatever you want to call them. So a bit of lube on the outside, as you can see, nice and shiny. Put them in, make sure they're the right side. So that's obviously number 1. If it wants to go in. There we go. And you only want to do like 1 or 2 at a time. So same for this one. Go. You want this laser timing tool for the cams. I've got my stage 2 Newman cams from 𝗦𝗵𝗲𝗯𝗶, so I shall just leave a little link here and in the description. But I'll show you what you get inside. Oh, that's special. I'm sure you guys want to know this. These are the new cams that are going in. And you would basically just put this in here and then we check the clearances. So I'm gonna set this up quickly and I'll show you what to do next. You will need a feeler gauge as well for this. Right guys, so we've got a tool in with the cams down. You want the pointed part of the cam pointing like upwards, so it's, but then I say, you literally want the roundest part of the cam at the bottom above the bucket. So there's less like surface area basically. So if you put a point down, obviously you're not going to be able to measure it. So do that. You then want to feeler gauge that you'd use for like piston rings and stuff like that. You want to check it with a 0.20 millimeters. It's probably reversed on my screen, maybe not yours. And you just want to push that underneath the cam here, the bucket. So this goes in with a little bit of resistance. You got like a variance of like 0.3, I think, 0.03 millimeters. So you can go either 0.3 millimeters more or less. So then I've gone, because I've got a bit of resistance, gone to 0.23. Check that behind it, and it doesn't go in. So that one's like dead on, so that one's fine. Try the next one, and the reason why we're doing 2 at a time is because obviously you can't have all the like sprockets on the cam facing up all at the same time. So again, that one's got a bit of resistance. Check at the 0.023. It's not going in. So these 2 are fine. So then you would just repeat that step for the rest. But like I said, you got like a 0.03 like margin either way, so you can go either 0.17 or 0.23. But obviously, sort of between here would be perfect. And you just want to make sure that's the same for all of them. If they are a little bit out, just mix and match each cam to each bucket so that they're all sort of similar all the way down.
Exhaust is 0.4.
Exhaust is 0.4. But we'll cut to that next part and quickly show you how to do that one as well. But yeah, so that's the main point. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't try this, but this is what we're here for. Right guys, so we've gone to the exhaust side. So now it needs to be sort of like 0.4 to 0.43. So from 0.37 to 0.40 to 0.43 is like the variance you have. So 3 either way again, but you ideally want it to be in the middle. So same thing, so you're just gonna obviously test down, see whether it's looser, more resistance, blah blah. So I'll put the 0.40 in first. So that goes in easily. The 0.43 doesn't. And you do that again for all of those. Repeat the step, and then once you've done all of that, we'll come back to the next step. Alright guys, so all the cams are like in and done. All we need to do now is put the piston rings, like not piston rings, they're like cam rings. I don't know what the actual name is for them, but just take them off the old ones, like we've done here. Put them on there. You can put new ones on. I can't be arsed. I do have a set of new ones, but I don't have 4. I've only got 2, so it'd just be stupid to have 1 new, 1 old. So just gonna put the old ones on. They look fine. So do that. Put those on. Then we move to the next step, which is we're gonna put down the head. Make sure these lined up so that we can put the sprockets on the ends and stuff. So I'll set up the camera for that. Right guys, so we got the cylinder head cover on, or cam cover you want to call it. Got a cam, it's sort of like what's the word?
It's a timing tool.
Timing tool, yeah. So it would just keep the cams in place. Put this on, didn't torque it down, just tighten it down pretty tight so it's closed. So we can put the sprockets on the end. It's a T55 again, the one that I broke last time.
And then on the actual sprockets somewhere, there's a little line to tell you which way to put it upwards. It's not the most important thing, but helps. There you go, just there. Tiny little mark on the cam.
Can't really see it on the camera, guys, but
face it upwards. Just helps later on for timing. And we'll just start these off. Same with the exhaust.
this is premium filming, guys.
See that one any better? Just there.
Tiny little line there.
Just want that roughly facing upwards.
And you want to torque these to 120 newton meters or foot-pounds?
120 newton meters, yeah.
Newton meters, yeah, 120 newton meters.
This impact's not very strong, so I've only got 50.
So let me set the camera and we'll torque them up to spec for you guys, and I will include the torque specs on the screen. And I'll also include the information about the cams as well, so like the cam buckets, so the variants and stuff like that. I'll put that inside the cams. Right guys, so we finished torquing up these. Obviously we're just waiting for some seals to arrive and stuff like that to put on here, so the cam end seals and the cam ends and stuff. But this pretty much most of the head done. I mean, other than like some spark plug seals and putting the buckets back in, there's not much left to do obviously until we actually forge the main block of the engine, and then obviously then let's go on, put the head bolts through and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just going to put the buckets back in, and that's pretty much that done. So I don't think there's anything else we need to include in this video, but we should include the rest in the next video, which is forging the main block with all the rods and stuff like that. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment and subscribe, and everything we have used in here is all from 𝗖𝗍 Motorsport, so we'll leave links in the description. Go check them out and use 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗋𝗋 to save money on selected products. So we'll see you in the next one.